My entire family, smiling, went on a luxurious vacation that I paid for with my last savings meant for treatment, leaving me alone in the ICU with an aching heart. But while they were enjoying paradise, I sold our house and disappeared forever. When they returned, they were in for a shock. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you are listening in the comments. The airline tickets scattered across our coffee table like fallen leaves. Laura stood by the fireplace, her voice cutting through the evening quiet. "Everett, darling, you understand? This is family business. You always said family comes first." I stared at the printed confirmations. Hawaii, 7 people. My chest tightened as I calculated the numbers dancing before my eyes. But I thought everyone was paying for themselves. My voice came out smaller than intended. "I only have $25,000 left for medications and treatment." Emily stopped pacing near the window. Her laugh held no warmth. "Dad, don't be so selfish. The kids have been looking forward to this trip for so long." Victor lounged on our worn leather couch, scrolling his phone. He didn't bother looking up. "Listen, old man, you made good money. Time to share with the family." The sound of papers rustling filled the silence as I picked up the hotel confirmations. My hands trembled slightly. $18,000 total. For 1 week. "Everyone already knows about this arrangement," Laura continued, her tone gentle but firm. "We discussed it last month." I wasn't part of any discussion. The words tasted bitter. Emily rolled her eyes. "You were right there when we planned it. You even said the children deserved a nice vacation." My memory felt foggy. Had I agreed to this? The medication sometimes made concentration difficult, but surely I would remember promising $18,000. "The medical bills—" "Will wait," Laura interrupted. "Family time is precious. Samuel and Rachel need their grandfather." Through the window, I could hear our neighbor mowing his lawn. Normal evening sounds from a normal world where families didn't ambush each other with financial demands. Victor finally looked up from his phone. His smirk made my stomach clench. "Besides, what good is money if you're not around to enjoy family memories?" The threat hung in the air like smoke. Emily nodded approvingly. Laura's smile never wavered. "The kids are so excited," Emily added. "I already told them Grandpa was treating everyone to Hawaii." My chest pain started as a flutter, then grew sharper. The stack of medical bills on the side table seemed to mock me. Heart medication, diabetes supplies, the specialist appointments I'd been postponing. "I need my savings for treatment," I managed. "Treatment can wait a few months," Laura said, gathering the papers efficiently. "Family comes first. You always taught us that." The coffee cup in my hand rattled against the saucer. When had Laura become so calculating? When had Emily grown so entitled? When had Victor started treating me like an ATM? "The reservations are already confirmed," Emily announced. "Non-refundable. We leave tomorrow afternoon," Laura added, sorting tickets by name. "Samuel and Rachel are already packed." My breathing became shallow. The room felt smaller, the walls pressing inward. 25 years of construction work, every dollar earned through sweat and careful planning, now evaporating like morning dew. "I never agreed to pay for everyone," I whispered. Laura moved closer, her hand touching my shoulder with practiced sympathy. "Darling, you're getting confused again. The medication affects your memory. We talked about this extensively." Emily's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and smiled. "The kids are texting about snorkeling lessons. They can't wait to see the tropical fish." Victor stood, stretching casually. "Flight leaves at 2:30. Make sure the transfer goes through tonight, Everett. Banks take time on weekends." The pressure in my chest intensified. I grabbed the armrest of my chair, knuckles white against the faded fabric. Family photos lined the mantel above Laura's head. Happier times when trust wasn't a luxury I couldn't afford. "Please," I started, but Emily was already heading toward the kitchen. "I'll make travel coffee for tomorrow," she called back. "Early morning at the airport." Laura folded the last confirmation letter with precise movements. The sound of paper creasing echoed like a closing door. The chest pains spiked suddenly, stealing my breath. After the confrontation, I retreated to our bedroom, claiming exhaustion. Laura continued planning with Emily and Victor in the kitchen while I escaped upstairs. Their voices carried through the floorboards, excited chatter about restaurant reservations and beach activities. The house finally quieted around 11 when everyone went to their rooms. I sat in my home office, surrounded by 10 years of financial documents. The desk lamp cast harsh shadows across bank statements and canceled checks. My reading glasses felt heavy on my nose. Emily's wedding in 2015, $30,000 for her dream day. The promissory note, written in Laura's handwriting, still sat in my filing cabinet. Will repay within 2 years. Love, Emily. Never happened. Victor's business investment in 2018, $15,000 for his revolutionary app idea. The venture failed within 6 months. No mention of repayment since. Laura's emergency expenses scattered throughout 2020 to 2024. Her mother's funeral, though her mother was perfectly healthy. Home repairs that never materialized. Medical bills for procedures she never had. My calculator clicked steadily as I added the numbers. $68,000 in loans that became gifts. My careful savings, accumulated through overtime hours and weekend projects, flowing away like water through cupped hands. The bedroom was quiet except for Laura's peaceful breathing. She slept soundly while I discovered the extent of my family's financial manipulation. A birthday card from 2019 caught my eye. Samuel's childish handwriting. Happy birthday, Grandpa. Mom says you might help with my college fund. He was only 4 then. Emily had coached him to ask for money. More cards, more requests. Rachel needed dance lessons. Emily needed a new car. Victor needed startup capital. Laura needed spa treatments for her stress. But when I needed surgery in 2023, suddenly money was tight. Family priorities, Laura had said. Your procedure can wait a few months. I lived with chest pain for 6 additional months while Emily took the kids to Disneyland. The moonlight streaming through the window illuminated years of self-sacrifice. Every family emergency became my financial crisis. Every small favor depleted my medical fund. My own handwriting appeared on check stubs. Donations to their causes while my medication costs climbed. Car payments for vehicles I didn't drive. Insurance premiums for policies that didn't benefit me. The digital clock showed 2:17 a.m. Laura stirred but didn't wake. My heart rate had steadied, but the emotional weight felt crushing. Bank statements revealed the pattern clearly. Steady income during my working years, gradual depletion after retirement. Each withdrawal coincided with family requests. $25,000 remained from a lifetime of earnings, barely enough for 6 months of medication and specialist visits. The Hawaii trip would consume nearly everything. A handwritten note from Laura, dated last year. Everett, borrowed $2,000 for Emily's emergency dental work. Will replace next month. The dental work was cosmetic whitening. The money never returned. I stacked the evidence into neat piles. Wedding expenses. Business investments. Vacations I didn't attend. Emergencies that weren't emergencies. The house creaked as it settled around me. Normal sounds from a home that no longer felt like shelter. My family had systematically stripped away my financial security while I focused on their happiness. My chest tightened with stress rather than affection when I thought about tomorrow's departure. They would fly to paradise using my remaining resources while I rationed medication and postponed medical care. The papers blurred as exhaustion took hold. Dawn was approaching, and my family would soon wake to continue their vacation preparations. I placed the documents back in their folders, but the damage was documented. Years of manipulation. Decades of exploitation disguised as family loyalty. The bedroom door remained closed. Laura slept peacefully, unaware that I had finally seen the truth about our financial relationship. As sunrise painted the windows, my chest pain returned with stress-induced intensity. As dawn broke, exhaustion and stress finally took their toll. The papers had blurred before my eyes as chest pain began. I made my way downstairs for water, but never reached the kitchen sink. The pressure started behind my sternum, a crushing weight that stole my breath. I gripped the counter edge, knuckles white against the marble surface. The early morning light felt too bright, too harsh. "Laura!" The word came out as a wheeze. My left arm burned with shooting pain. The kitchen tiles felt cold under my knees as I collapsed, the water glass shattering beside me. "Everett!" Laura's voice carried from upstairs, groggy and confused. What was that noise? I couldn't answer. Each breath felt like drowning. The ceiling spun slowly above me while I pressed my palm against my chest, trying to contain the explosion inside my ribcage. Laura's footsteps pounded down the stairs. "Oh my goodness! What happened?" She knelt beside me, her nightgown pooling around us. "Can you speak? Should I call someone?" "Can't breathe," I gasped. Her fingers trembled as she dialed 911. The operator's voice echoed through the speakerphone, calm and professional amidst our panic. 911, what's your emergency?" "My husband collapsed. He's having chest pain and can't breathe properly." "Ma'am, I'm dispatching paramedics immediately. Is he conscious?" "Yes, but he looks terrible. His face is gray." The operator guided Laura through basic first aid, while I focused on staying conscious. The kitchen floor felt like ice against my cheek. Time moved strangely, seconds stretching into hours. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder. The paramedics burst through our front door with practiced efficiency. "Sir, can you tell me what you're feeling? Rate your pain 1 to 10, the lead paramedic asked while checking my pulse. 8, maybe 9, I whispered. They worked quickly, inserting an IV and attaching monitor leads to my chest. The ambulance interior smelled of antiseptic and urgency. Laura climbed in beside me, her hand gripping mine. "The trip," she murmured. "Ma'am, let's focus on your husband right now," the paramedic said firmly. But Laura's phone was already buzzing. Emily's name flashed on the screen. "I have to take this," Laura said, releasing my hand. "Mom, we're at the airport. Where are you? Dad needs to transfer the money before we board." "Something happened to your father. We're in an ambulance heading to the hospital." The monitor beside me beeped steadily, tracking my irregular heartbeat. "What do you mean something happened? Is he okay? Can we still travel?" Laura glanced at me, then looked away. "I don't know yet, sweetheart. The doctors need to examine him. But Mom, the kids are so excited, and everything's non-refundable. Can't Dad just transfer the money now? How bad could it be?" The paramedic frowned at Laura's conversation, but continued monitoring my vital signs. "I need to know our cancellation options," Laura whispered into the phone. My chest pain sharpened with emotional rather than physical stress. Even during my medical emergency, the vacation remained their priority. At the hospital, Dr. Martinez examined me thoroughly while Laura paced outside the room. "Mr. Rogers, you've experienced a mild myocardial infarction. You'll need rest and monitoring." "How long?" I managed to ask. "We're going to keep you for observation, at least 48 hours. Your heart needs time to recover." Through the door, I could hear Laura on another phone call. "Yes, I need to speak to someone about travel insurance. My husband had a medical emergency this morning." Dr. Martinez noticed my distress. "Try to stay calm, Mr. Rogers. Stress will complicate your recovery." But Laura entered the room, her expression torn between concern and frustration. "The doctor says you need to stay here for 2 days minimum," she announced. "Then we'll cancel the trip," I said weakly. "Everett, don't talk nonsense. The children have waited so long. Emily's already at the airport with Samuel and Rachel." "Laura, I just had a heart attack." "A mild one," the doctor said. "You'll be fine in a few days, but this vacation is once in a lifetime for the grandchildren." The heart monitor's beeping accelerated as my blood pressure spiked. "You're choosing Hawaii over my health?" "I'm choosing not to disappoint 2 innocent children who've done nothing wrong." The nurse entered to check my IV, glancing disapprovingly at Laura. "Mrs. Rogers, your husband needs rest and minimal stress." "Of course," Laura replied, but her phone was already ringing again. "Victor wants to know if you can just wire the money from your hospital bed. The hotel needs confirmation by noon." The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, while my wife prioritized vacation logistics over my cardiac recovery. The antiseptic smell mixed with my growing nausea. "Please, Laura. We'll plan another trip when I'm better." "When will that be? Next year? The year after?" "Time isn't on our side, Everett." Her words hit harder than the chest pain. My family was abandoning me for a beach vacation while I lay connected to machines that kept my damaged heart beating. The final choice was becoming clear. Sunday morning brought Laura through my hospital room door with a wheeled suitcase and vacation clothes draped over her arm. The carry-on bag's tropical print mocked the sterile white walls around us. "Good morning, darling," she said, checking her watch. "Flight leaves at 2:30. I wanted to say goodbye properly." My heart monitor registered the spike in my pulse. She was really going. "Laura, please, I'm begging you. Let's postpone the trip for a month. I want to go with you when I'm better." "Everett, don't be childish. You rest here, and we'll rest there. It's fair." Emily appeared in the doorway, juggling two children's backpacks and her own purse. Victor lounged against the doorframe, scrolling his phone with practiced indifference. "Dad, you're always so dramatic. It's just a vacation," Emily announced, not meeting my eyes. Samuel pressed against the bed rail, holding a crayon drawing of palm trees and stick figures. "Grandpa, why aren't you coming with us?" The innocence in his voice cut deeper than any scalpel. "Because Grandpa is sick, boy, but you have fun." My voice cracked on the last words. Rachel tugged on Laura's vacation dress, sensing the adult tension but not understanding it. "Grandma, is Grandpa going to be okay?" "Of course, sweetheart. The doctors will take excellent care of him." Victor finally looked up from his phone. "Old man, don't worry. We'll bring you souvenirs, maybe some macadamia nuts." His smirk made my chest tighten again. The heart monitor's beeping grew more rapid. "The doctor said you need rest," Laura continued, organizing her travel documents efficiently. "A quiet hospital is perfect for that." "We can't disappoint the children now," Emily added, hefting Samuel's backpack. "They've been planning this for weeks." "Look, we already paid for everything," Victor said, checking flight times on his phone. "No point wasting money." A nurse entered to check my IV drip, witnessing the family gathering with obvious disapproval. "Are you sure this is wise? He could use family support during recovery." "He'll have plenty of support from the medical staff," Laura replied smoothly. The nurse's expression hardened, but she said nothing more. Samuel climbed onto the chair beside my bed, his drawing crumpling in his small hands. "I made this for you, Grandpa. It's our family on the beach." The stick figures smiled in crayon happiness. 2 adults, 2 children, and 1 grandmother. No grandfather. "That's beautiful, Samuel. Put it on the table where I can see it." "Are you sure you can't come? Maybe tomorrow?" "No, buddy. Grandpa needs to stay here." Emily pulled Samuel away from the bed. "Come on, kids. We need to get through security." Laura gathered her purse and suitcase handle, preparing for departure. The sound of wheels on linoleum echoed through the room. "The hotel has our contact information if anything urgent happens," she said, leaning down to kiss my forehead. Her perfume smelled like tropical flowers and betrayal. "Don't go," I whispered. "The kids need this vacation, Everett. You understand." Victor was already walking toward the elevator, impatient with the prolonged goodbye. "Traffic to LAX gets heavy on Sundays," he called back. Emily hesitated at the doorway, some flicker of guilt crossing her face. "Dad, you'll be fine. The doctor said it was mild. Mild heart attacks can still kill people. Don't be so morbid. We'll call from the hotel tonight." Rachel waved at me from Emily's arms, her innocent smile cutting through my despair. "Bye, Grandpa. Feel better." "Bye, sweetheart. I love you." The words felt like a goodbye to more than just a vacation. Laura paused at the threshold, her expression softening slightly. "Rest well, darling. We'll bring you pictures." Then they were gone. The sound of their voices faded down the hospital corridor, leaving me alone with the steady beeping of machines and the antiseptic smell of abandonment. Through the window, I could see other families visiting patients, normal families who prioritized health over recreation. A commercial airplane traced across the sky outside, heading west toward the Pacific. In 6 hours, my family would be on a similar plane, drinking first-class champagne purchased with my medical savings. The nurse returned to adjust my medication drip. "Tough situation," she said quietly. "They chose paradise over me." Family dynamics can be complicated, but there was nothing complicated about abandonment. The drawing Samuel left showed the truth in crayon clarity. I was already erased from their picture. My chest pain had nothing to do with cardiac damage now. 4 days passed in the sterile hospital routine. Physical therapy, medication schedules, and doctor visits filled the hours. When Thursday morning came, Dr. Martinez finally signed my discharge papers. The taxi ride from hospital to Pasadena took 40 minutes in traffic. I still felt weak, but anger was replacing the chest pain. Newspapers lay scattered across our front porch like abandoned promises. 4 days' worth of unread headlines, wilting in the California sun. My house key felt foreign in the lock. Inside, chaos greeted me. Couch cushions askew, family photos face down on the mantel. The refrigerator door hung ajar, milk soured and forgotten. Dirty dishes formed geological layers in the kitchen sink. They'd ransacked the house before leaving. In the master bedroom, dresser drawers gaped open like screaming mouths. Laura's clothes were gone, but mine lay scattered across the floor like discarded thoughts. The children's room looked like a tornado had swept through. Toys abandoned mid-play, suitcases vanished. My home office bore the worst damage. Papers scattered everywhere, filing cabinet drawers hanging open. They'd been searching for something specific. The mailbox held a single postcard: tropical paradise, crystal blue water, palm trees swaying in perpetual vacation bliss. Dear Everett, the handwriting was Laura's careful script. Hawaii is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for making this possible. The kids are thrilled. Love, Laura, Emily, Victor, Sam, Rachel. The mockery in "thank you for making this possible" made my hands shake. They posed on a beach, everyone smiling, tropical drinks in hand. My money funding their happiness while I recovered alone. I sat heavily in my desk chair, the postcard trembling between my fingers. Walking to the kitchen for water, I noticed crumpled papers in the trash. Coffee stains and orange peels couldn't hide the letterhead. Johnson Realty, residential sales contract. My hands shook as I smoothed the wrinkled document. An agreement to sell our house at $850,000. Laura's signature was already there, neat and decisive. Laura Rogers, attorney-in-fact for Everett Rogers. Attorney-in-fact. The words hit like ice water. The date showed she'd signed this before my heart attack, before the Hawaii argument. They'd planned to sell my house regardless. Racing to our bedroom, I searched through Laura's jewelry box, the one place I rarely looked. Behind her pearl necklace, folded small and hidden, the power of attorney document. October 15th, 2023. During my previous hospitalization for chest pains, the medication had made me foggy, confused. I remembered signing medical forms, giving Laura permission to talk with doctors. This wasn't a medical form. Broad financial powers including real estate transactions, banking operations, and investment decisions. Laura could legally sell everything I owned. My phone felt heavy as I dialed Johnson Realty. Hello, Mr. Johnson. This is Everett Rogers. I need to talk to you about my house. The silence stretched uncomfortably long. Mr. Rogers, your wife said you were incapacitated from your recent illness. I didn't expect to hear from you directly. Well, I'm very much awake now. We need to discuss this arrangement. Your wife contacted me 2 weeks ago about an expedited sale. She explained your medical condition made participation impossible. 2 weeks ago? Before Hawaii, before my heart attack, before any medical emergency justified excluding me. She said you needed immediate liquidity for medical expenses, Johnson continued. The house is already listed internally. We have serious buyer interest. Internal listing? Private network sales, faster closing, fewer complications. Your wife was quite insistent about timing. The room spun slightly, not from medication this time, but from the scope of their betrayal. Mr. Johnson, I need you to suspend all activities related to my property immediately. But sir, your wife has power of attorney, legal authority to— I'm the property owner. I'm stopping this sale. Another pause. Mr. Rogers, this creates a complicated situation. Your wife has already accepted an initial offer. The buyers are preparing financing. The walls of my house felt closer, pressing inward with the weight of deception. 30 years of construction work, 30 years of mortgage payments, 30 years of calling this place home. They wanted to sell it while I lay unconscious. Cancel everything, I said firmly. Sir, I'll need this in writing, and possibly legal clarification about the power of attorney status. You'll have it. Hanging up, I stared at the document in my hands. Laura's careful handwriting from 2023. For medical emergencies only. But the legal language said something different. Broad financial powers. She'd had me sign away my life while pretending it was medical paperwork. The house felt foreign now, violated by their planning and scheming. Every room held evidence of their preparation to erase me. But if they wanted to play games with legal documents, they'd forgotten something important. I was still alive, still the property owner, still capable of making my own decisions. The phone call with Johnson changed everything. For the first time in 4 days, my chest didn't hurt. Rage was more powerful medicine than anything the doctors had prescribed. The phone call with Johnson changed everything. For the first time in 4 days, my chest didn't hurt. Rage was more powerful medicine than anything the doctors had given me. I spread the power of attorney document across my desk, reading every word with an engineer's precision, legal language I'd signed while medicated and trusting. Laura had used my weakest moment against me, but she'd made one critical error. The document gave her power to act on my behalf, not against my will. As the property owner, I could revoke any agreement she'd made. More importantly, I could use the same legal tool for my own purposes. If Laura could manipulate legal documents, so could I. My computer hummed to life as I began researching international banking options, Swiss accounts, Cayman Islands, offshore investment possibilities. The screen glowed with financial freedom I'd never considered before. Calculator work filled the next hour. House equity, $850,000. My remaining medical savings, $25,000. Total accessible funds, nearly $900,000. Enough for a comfortable life anywhere in the world. My phone rang twice during the research phase. Both calls from Hawaii. I let them go to voicemail. Laura's voice, tropical and relaxed. "Everett, darling, the weather is gorgeous here. The kids are having such a wonderful time. Hope you're resting well. Love you." The casual tone made my stomach clench. She had no idea I'd discovered their real estate conspiracy. Evening shadows stretched across my office as I planned methodically. If they wanted to sell my house, I'd sell it myself. Quickly, quietly, before they returned from paradise. The bank's international division answered on the third ring. "I need to arrange a rapid transfer of a large sum overseas," I told the consultant. "What documentation do you require?" "How large are we discussing, Mr. Rogers?" "Approximately $700,000. Professional interest sharpened her voice. "I'll need to schedule an in-person appointment. Transfers of that magnitude require additional verification. How quickly can this be processed?" "With proper documentation, 3 to 5 business days after initiation." Perfect timing. They'd return from Hawaii Monday. I'd have everything completed by then. Johnson's number was still fresh in my phone's memory. "Mr. Johnson, I've changed my mind. The house does need selling, but quickly." "Mr. Rogers, you said this morning. New information has come to light. I want a list immediately for rapid sale." "How rapid are we discussing?" "Cash buyers only. Price it to move fast." A pause as he processed this shift. "We could list at $750,000 for immediate sale. Cash buyers would move quickly at that price." "Do it." "Sir, that's $100,000 below market value." "I understand. Time is more valuable than money right now. I'll need you to sign new paperwork immediately. Today, if possible. I'll be there within the hour." Hanging up, I felt power returning to my hands for the first time in years. Laura had trained me to be passive, agreeable, easily manipulated. But she'd forgotten I'd spent decades solving complex engineering problems. This was just another problem requiring strategic solutions. My passport lay in the desk drawer, unused for 5 years. The photo showed a younger man, someone who still believed family loyalty meant something. That man was gone. Bank statements from the past decade told the story clearly. Steady depletion of resources, always for family emergencies. Wedding costs, business investments, vacation expenses. $68,000 in documented loans never repaid. But tonight, the flow would reverse. Evening news played softly in the background as I organized documents. International destinations, cost of living comparisons, visa requirements for retired Americans. Switzerland appealed to my engineering mind. Precision, efficiency, respect for privacy. The lawyer's office opened at 8 Monday morning, the bank at 9. Johnson Realty could complete paperwork by noon. By the time my family returned from their tropical paradise, I'd be preparing for a different kind of vacation. My phone buzzed with a text from Emily. "Dad, kids want a video call tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific time." I typed back, "Feeling tired, maybe tomorrow." No point in pretending anymore. The power of attorney document sat beside my computer, ready to serve new purposes. Laura had given me the perfect weapon to use against her. 30 years of marriage reduced to legal paperwork and financial calculations. 30 years of sacrifice, finally balanced by strategic planning. Outside, neighbors' lights twinkled through windows. Normal families living normal lives, trusting each other with normal expectations. I envied them briefly, then returned to my planning. Trust was a luxury I could no longer afford. but freedom was something I could finally purchase. Monday morning, I would start fighting back. Monday morning arrived with California sunshine that felt like vindication. I dressed in my best suit, the one I'd worn to Emily's wedding, back when I thought family loyalty mattered. Johnson's real estate office buzzed with morning energy. Coffee percolated while agents shuffled property listings and answered phones. I sat across from his desk, briefcase organized with military precision. "Mr. Rogers, your wife mentioned $850,000, but you want $750. Johnson's confusion was genuine. "Yes, I need to sell quickly. Family circumstances have changed," I replied, keeping my voice steady. "This price reduction will generate immediate interest. Are you certain? Speed is more important than maximum profit right now." He nodded slowly, pulling up listing templates on his computer screen. Professional instincts overcame personal curiosity. "We can have photography done tomorrow. Listings live by Wednesday morning." "Perfect." The legal office occupied the 15th floor of a downtown Pasadena building. Glass windows offered views of the San Gabriel Mountains while I waited in reception. Law books lined mahogany shelves like silent witnesses to countless family disputes. Attorney Sarah Chen reviewed my power of attorney document with practiced efficiency. Her desk nameplate caught morning light as she read through Laura's carefully worded deception. "Technically, if the house is in your ownership and the power of attorney is valid, everything is legal," she confirmed. "What happens when my wife finds out? That's a family matter. Legally, she cannot stop the sale." Her explanation continued with methodical precision. Power of attorney didn't override ownership rights. Laura could act on my behalf, not against my will. As the legal owner, I retained full authority over my property. "So I can revoke any agreements she made?" "Absolutely. You have complete authority over your property transactions." Relief flooded through me like medication taking effect. Laura's weapon could be turned against her. "Power of attorney doesn't grant ownership, Mr. Rogers. It grants permission to act. You can withdraw that permission at any time." The bank's international division occupied a marble-lined section of the main building. Security cameras tracked my movement as I approached the consultation desk. A well-dressed manager led me to a private office. "I need to arrange rapid transfer of a large sum overseas," I explained. "How large are we discussing, Mr. Rogers?" "Approximately $700,000. Her professional demeanor sharpened with interest. Large transfers meant substantial fees for the bank. "I'll need to schedule documentation review. Transfers of that magnitude require federal reporting and identity verification." "What's the timeline?" "With proper paperwork, 3 to 5 business days after initiation." "International transfers require additional documentation," she continued, sliding forms across the polished table. "Destination country, purpose of transfer, source of funds verification." I filled out Switzerland as my destination, real estate sale as the source, everything legitimate and legally documented. "Are you relocating permanently, Mr. Rogers?" "Starting fresh, new country, new opportunities." The afternoon sun slanted through my office windows as I organized tomorrow's schedule. Photography session at 8 a.m. Listing publication by noon. Open house scheduled for Thursday. My phone buzzed with a Hawaii number. Emily's voice came through cheerful and relaxed. "Dad, how are you feeling? The kids miss their grandpa." "Much better. The rest has been good for me." "We're having such an amazing time. The snorkeling yesterday was incredible. Samuel caught his first fish." "That's wonderful. Are you taking lots of pictures?" "Hundreds. We'll show you everything when we get back Sunday evening." Sunday evening. Perfect timing. "Mom wants to talk to you later. She's at the spa getting a massage." "Tell her I said hello." "Will do. Love you, Dad." The call ended with tropical sounds in the background. Children laughing, waves lapping, vacation paradise funded by my medical savings. But that paradise was about to become very expensive. Johnson called at 5:30 with updates. Photography scheduled for 7 a.m. Tuesday. Multiple listing services would go live by noon. His excitement was infectious. Reduced price meant quick commission. "This will generate serious interest, Mr. Rogers. Cash buyers love below-market opportunities." "Good. I want reliable buyers, not bargain hunters." Evening shadows stretched across the house I'd called home for 30 years. Every room held memories that Laura wanted to monetize. But tomorrow, strangers would walk through my house, not knowing they were buying stolen dreams. Tuesday blurred past in preparation. Professional photographers captured every angle of the house I'd called home for 30 years. By Wednesday morning, online listings were live, and Johnson's phone was already ringing. I stood in my spotless living room, watching the first potential buyers pull into my driveway. The morning couple seemed casual, browsing without urgency. They commented politely on the kitchen updates and backyard landscaping, but their questions lacked commitment. 20 minutes later, they departed with non-committal pleasantries. "Just looking around the neighborhood," the husband explained. "Of course, take your time deciding." The afternoon brought a younger couple with financing pre-approval letters. They measured rooms and discussed renovation possibilities, but their timeline stretched months into the future. "We love the bones of the house," the wife said, "but we'd need to upgrade the electrical system. The house has served us well as is, but every family has different needs." Johnson appeared frustrated after they left. "They want a lowball based on improvement costs. Classic buyer tactics. Let them. Better offers will come." Thursday morning arrived with the perfect family. Professional couple in their mid-30s, 2 children around Samuel and Rachel's ages. The husband carried himself with engineering confidence I recognized. The wife moved through rooms with genuine appreciation. "This house feels so cozy. You can tell a happy family lived here," she observed, running her hand along the kitchen counter. "Yes, there were many happy moments here. I hope you'll create your own." Their children explored with innocent excitement. The daughter claimed Emily's old room immediately. "Mom, look, the window faces the sunrise. Perfect for early risers like you, sweetheart." The husband examined my workshop with professional interest. "Did you build things? This workbench has seen serious use. 30 years of projects. The workbench stays if you want it." His eyes lit up. Engineers appreciated quality tools and organized spaces. "Why are you selling, if you don't mind me asking?" I'd prepared this answer carefully. Time for changes, kids grown up, wife wants something smaller. The partial truth felt less bitter than complete honesty. They spent 90 minutes exploring every corner. Children's laughter echoed through rooms where my grandchildren should have played. The daughter found the backyard swing Emily had used decades ago. "Can we keep the swing, Dad?" "I think that can be arranged." Johnson pulled me aside during their backyard inspection. "They're serious buyers, cash available, no financing contingencies." "What kind of timeline?" "They need to move fast, job relocation situation." Perfect. Speed worked in my favor. "This was my daughter's room," I told the wife as we toured upstairs. "She loved the morning sunlight." "It's perfect for our daughter, too. Sarah's been hoping for a room with eastern exposure." The irony wasn't lost on me. Another family's daughter would enjoy what Emily had abandoned for tropical vacations. By afternoon, their offer arrived. $780,000, cash, 7-day closing. "They're offering above asking," Johnson announced with genuine surprise. "This is unusual for the current market." "Good. I want reliable buyers, not bargain hunters." "Are you certain about accepting? We could probably push for more." "No, speed matters more than maximizing profit." The earnest money deposit cleared within hours. Purchase agreement signed, closing scheduled for Friday. Everything falling into place with mechanical precision. Evening found me walking through rooms that would soon belong to strangers. Family photos had been turned face down during staging, but their impressions remained on end tables like ghosts of happier times. The master bedroom where I'd planned this revenge. Emily's room, where she'd dreamed childhood dreams. The kitchen where family arguments had devolved into financial ultimatums. Soon, a new family would fill these spaces with their own dreams and arguments and memories. But first, my family would return Sunday to discover what betrayal really costs. My phone remained silent. No calls from Hawaii since Emily's Tuesday check-in. They were probably enjoying spa treatments and snorkeling adventures, blissfully unaware that their inheritance was changing hands. The signed purchase agreement lay on my desk, official and irreversible. One more day, and everything would be beyond their reach. Thursday night, I barely slept. Not from anxiety, but from anticipation. Friday would complete the first phase of my new life. The notary's office smelled like leather and legal decisions. I arrived 15 minutes early, documents organized in my briefcase with engineering precision. Sarah and Michael Patterson, my buyers, arrived promptly at 9. Their children waited in the reception area, coloring books spread across a coffee table. Mr. Rogers, everything is ready. The transaction is officially complete, the notary announced after final signatures. Michael pumped my hand with genuine warmth. Thank you so much. We're thrilled to be the new owners of your home. Take care of it. It deserves that. Sarah handed me a small wrapped package. A little something for your new chapter. Inside, a coffee mug reading World's Best Grandpa. Painfully ironic given my circumstances. The kids insisted, Michael explained. They said you seemed like the kind of grandpa who deserved appreciation. The words hit harder than expected. These strangers' children showed more consideration than my own family. Thank you. That's very thoughtful. The keys changed hands with ceremonial weight. 30 years of ownership, ending with 3 signatures and a handshake. The keys to our new life, Michael said. The keys to mine as well. Bank headquarters occupied a downtown tower that pierced the Los Angeles smog like a glass needle. My appointment with International Transfer Services was scheduled for 2 o'clock. Mr. Rogers, we're ready to process your transfer, the bank manager confirmed. $700,000 to Zurich International Banking. Excellent. What's the completion timeline? The transfer will be completed within 48 hours. Swiss banking efficiency is legendary. Federal reporting requirements meant paperwork and verification, but everything proceeded smoothly. Large transactions triggered scrutiny, but real estate sales provided legitimate documentation. This is a substantial international transfer. Are you relocating permanently? Starting fresh, new country, new opportunities. The wire transfer authorization required multiple signatures and identity verification. Each signature felt like another chain breaking. Your funds will be available in Switzerland by Monday morning. Perfect timing. While my family discovered their empty house, my money would be securing my freedom. Travel arrangements occupied the afternoon. First-class tickets to Zurich, departing Saturday evening at 10:30. 1 suitcase, no forwarding address. Single passenger, one-way ticket, the travel agent confirmed. Correct. Open-ended travel plans. The agent's screen showed my new itinerary. Los Angeles to London, London to Zurich. 14 hours to a new continent and a new life. Evening brought final preparations. Important documents packed. Unnecessary papers shredded. 30 years of accumulated life reduced to 1 suitcase and a briefcase. My phone displayed 17 missed calls from Hawaiian numbers. They were probably wondering why I hadn't answered, but I had nothing left to say to them. The voicemails told their own story. Laura. Everett, darling, call us back. We want to share some wonderful sunset photos. Emily. Dad, we've been trying to reach you. Are you feeling okay? Call when you get this. Victor. Hey, old man. Kids want a video chat before we fly home Sunday. Their voices carried tropical relaxation and vacation bliss. By Sunday evening, that bliss would transform into something much different. The hotel near LAX provided anonymous comfort for my final night in California. Through the window, aircraft lights traced departure paths across the darkening sky. Tomorrow night, I'd be on one of those planes. By the time my family's plane touched down at Los Angeles International, mine would be climbing towards Switzerland. By Sunday evening, they would understand what betrayal really costs. Saturday evening in my LAX hotel room felt like the calm before a beautiful storm. My single suitcase sat packed beside the bed, passport and boarding pass organized in my briefcase. 24 hours until my family's world collapsed. The phone rang at 7 o'clock Pacific time, 1 a.m. in Hawaii. Laura's voice carried tropical relaxation and vacation bliss. Darling, Hawaii is absolutely incredible. So sorry you're not here with us. How is your health? Is your heart okay? I asked, settling into the hotel's uncomfortable chair. Much better. The rest has been good for me. Oh, wonderful. Emily wants to talk to you. Kids too. Emily's voice bubbled with enthusiasm. Dad, you won't believe these beaches. Next year you absolutely must come with us. Next year? I kept my tone neutral. Yeah, old man, we need to plan ahead. Victor's voice joined the conversation. Maybe even for 2 weeks. The irony was delicious. They were planning next year's vacation with money that no longer existed. The weather has been perfect, 85 degrees every day, Laura continued. That sounds wonderful. I'm glad you're having fun. The kids learned to surf. Samuel is a natural, Emily added with maternal pride. This resort is 5-star, Victor commented. Worth every penny you spent. Through the hotel window, airport runway lights traced patterns across the darkness. Tomorrow night, I'd be watching Swiss mountain peaks instead of California smog. Grandpa, I caught a fish this big. Samuel's voice carried childhood excitement as he presumably gestured with his hands. We saw dolphins, Grandpa, real ones, Rachel chimed in. Take lots of pictures. I'd love to see them. The children's innocent joy cut through my satisfaction slightly. They didn't deserve what was coming, but their parents had made the choices that led here. By the way, Laura's voice returned, businesslike despite the tropical background. When we get back, we'll discuss selling the house. I have several ideas. Sounds interesting. I've been thinking about that realtor Johnson. We should meet him Tuesday. We'll talk about everything when you get home. Emily's maternal concern surfaced through the phone connection. Dad, you sound tired. Are you taking your medication? Yes, I'm taking care of myself. Don't worry. The kids are getting sleepy, Laura announced. Early morning snorkeling lesson tomorrow. Enjoy your last day. Hawaii won't last forever. More prophetic words had never been spoken. Love you, darling. See you Sunday evening. Yes, Sunday evening will be memorable. The call ended with sounds of tropical paradise. Children laughing, waves lapping, vacation bliss funded by my medical savings. In 18 hours, that paradise would transform into something much different. I checked my boarding pass one final time. Swiss International Air, departure 10:30 p.m. Sunday. First-class ticket purchased with money from their stolen inheritance. The hotel room felt temporary and anonymous, perfect for a man about to disappear. Room service menu lay on the nightstand, but I had no appetite. Anticipation was more nourishing than food. My old phone sat on the desk, fully charged for one final purpose. Tomorrow evening, when they discovered the truth, they'd call this number repeatedly. By then, the device would be destroyed, and I'd be breathing Swiss air. Through thin walls, I could hear normal families in adjacent rooms. Television laughter, children being tucked into beds, mundane conversations about tomorrow's plans. They had no idea their neighbor was orchestrating the perfect revenge. The digital clock showed 7:47 p.m. In 27 hours, my family would understand what betrayal really costs. Airport sounds drifted through the window, planes taking off, ground crew communications, the constant hum of international travel. Soon, I'd be part of that movement, disappearing into the sky while my past crumbled behind me. Room service knocked at 8:15. I'd ordered champagne to celebrate, but the bubbles tasted like vindication rather than joy. Tomorrow night, I'd be breathing Swiss air while they discovered what betrayal really costs. Sunday dragged like a slow-motion countdown. I checked out of the airport hotel at noon and drove to Pasadena one final time. The rental house 2 doors down from my former home was available for short-term lease. I positioned myself at the upstairs window with a clear view of the driveway where, in 3 hours, my family would discover their new reality. Binoculars brought their faces into sharp focus when the rental car pulled up at 4:30. Vacation tans, Hawaiian shirts, children excited to be home. Luggage filled the trunk, souvenirs from paradise purchased with my medical savings. Laura stepped out first, house keys ready in her hand, the keys that no longer worked. Samuel and Rachel ran toward the front door, eager to share vacation treasures with Grandpa. They stopped when strangers' children appeared in the window. The Patterson family, legally settled in what used to be my home. "What are you doing in my house?" Laura's voice carried clearly across the quiet neighborhood. Michael Patterson opened the front door with calm authority. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but we bought this house from Mr. Rogers 3 days ago." "That's impossible. My father couldn't sell the house without our knowledge." Emily's voice cracked with disbelief. Victor pushed forward aggressively. "Where are our things? Where is our furniture?" "Your belongings are in the garage. Here are the keys to the padlock," Michael replied, producing a small key ring. The children watched in confusion as adults argued. Samuel tugged on Laura's vacation dress. "Grandma, why can't we go inside Grandpa's house?" "I want my toys. Where are my toys?" Rachel's voice carried genuine distress. Sarah Patterson appeared beside her husband, protective but sympathetic. "Ma'am, we have all the legal documents. The sale was completed Friday." "This is insane. We live here. This is our home." Laura's voice rose to near hysteria. Through the binoculars, I watched her face transform from confusion to rage to desperation. The same face that had dismissed my heart attack as inconvenient timing. "My father is in the hospital. He's not capable of making these decisions," Emily shouted. "According to our realtor, Mr. Rogers was very much involved in the sale," Michael responded calmly. Victor stepped closer, intimidation in his posture. "Someone's going to pay for this mistake. This is fraud. I suggest you contact your attorney. We're the legal owners now." Laura pulled out her phone with shaking hands. "Everett, pick up the phone, right now." The call went to a disconnected number. I'd destroyed the old phone that morning. "The number you have dialed is no longer in service." Her face went pale beneath the Hawaiian tan. She tried again. Same message. "This house feels so cozy. You can tell a happy family lived here," Sarah had said during the showing. Now she watched another family's world collapse in her driveway. Emily tried calling from her phone. Same disconnected message. Victor attempted contact through social media, email, every digital connection. All dead ends. "He's vanished," Victor announced grimly. The garage held their belongings, hastily packed during the staging process. Clothes, personal items, furniture crammed into the storage space like abandoned dreams. They loaded what they could into the rental car. 30 years of family life reduced to temporary luggage. Samuel cried quietly, not understanding why home had become foreign territory. Rachel clutched a stuffed animal someone had rescued from the garage pile. "Where will we live now?" she asked innocently. Nobody had an answer. Laura made one final attempt to reach me, screaming my name into the disconnected line. The sound carried across the neighborhood like a wounded animal's cry. The Patterson children watched from their new bedroom window as Samuel and Rachel were loaded into a car filled with displaced belongings. By 8 o'clock, my family's rental car disappeared down the street, leaving behind the house they'd planned to sell without my knowledge. The show was over. Time for the final act. I closed the rental house window and walked to my car. The airport waited, and with it, my flight to Switzerland. Tomorrow morning, I'd wake up in a country where family loyalty wasn't just empty words spoken during financial manipulation. The drive to LAX took 90 minutes through Sunday evening traffic. I returned the rental car, destroyed my old phone in the airport trash, and checked in for the red-eye flight to Zurich. The boarding gate was nearly empty at 10 p.m. In 30 minutes, I would disappear forever from the life that had betrayed me. "First class to Zurich, Mr. Rogers. Have a pleasant flight," the gate agent announced. "I intend to." The Boeing 777 felt like a spaceship carrying me to another planet. First-class luxury I'd never experienced during 30 years of family sacrifice. Lie-flat seats, premium service, champagne that tasted like freedom. "Can I get you anything for takeoff?" the flight attendant asked. "Champagne, I'm celebrating." Los Angeles shrunk beneath us as we climbed toward the Pacific. City lights became distant stars, then disappeared into darkness. Every mile carried me further from the family that had used me as their personal bank account. 65 years I lived for others. Time to live for myself, I thought, watching the ocean pass below. The flight attendant brought warm nuts and vintage wine. Real food, not the cheap substitutes I'd accepted while funding everyone else's dreams. The irony wasn't lost. I was flying first class using money they'd planned to steal. Mid-flight brought deep satisfaction. Laura was probably still calling my old number, still not understanding that her financial manipulation had finally backfired. Emily was likely searching social media for traces of the father she'd abandoned for tropical paradise. Victor would be calculating their losses, not just the house, but the inheritance they'd counted on. $700,000 safely transferred to Swiss banks they couldn't access. "They'll search for me, but won't find me. I'm no longer that naive fool," I wrote in the complimentary notebook. The children's faces haunted me briefly. Samuel and Rachel didn't deserve homelessness, but their parents had made choices that led here. Sometimes innocent people pay for adults' decisions. "Local time in Zurich is 10 a.m. Welcome to Switzerland," the flight attendant announced as Alpine peaks appeared through the window. Swiss efficiency impressed me immediately. Immigration took minutes, luggage arrived promptly, ground transportation was punctual and clean. After years of family chaos, orderliness felt therapeutic. "Which hotel should I take you to?" the taxi driver asked in perfect English. "The best one. I have money and time to enjoy life." The Boer au Lac overlooked Lake Zurich like a palace from another century. Marble lobbies, uniformed staff, the kind of luxury Laura had always coveted but never deserved. "Welcome to Zurich, sir. How long will you be staying?" the concierge inquired. "Indefinitely. This is home now." My suite faced the Alps, snow-capped peaks that made Hawaiian beaches seem ordinary. Room service brought Swiss chocolate and local wine. The bank app on my new phone showed $700,000 available for whatever life I chose to build. No more medical bills postponed for family vacations. No more emergencies that drained my savings. No more power of attorney documents signed under false pretenses. The family that used me as a bank account just lost their primary asset. They were probably still trying to contact me, still not understanding that 30 years of marriage meant nothing when financial exploitation was the foundation. But I understood perfectly. They'd taught me that family loyalty was conditional, that love had a price tag, that my value was measured in dollars rather than devotion. Now I'd discover who I am when I'm not being used. Room service brought dinner as the sun set over Lake Zurich. Swiss precision, Swiss quality, Swiss respect for individual privacy. Everything my American family had never provided. The phone stayed silent. No desperate calls from Hawaiian hotel rooms. No tearful voicemails from children seeking explanations. The disconnected number protected me from their chaos. Tomorrow I'd start apartment hunting. Swiss citizenship took time, but money accelerated most processes. Engineering skills transferred internationally. Perhaps I'd consult on Alpine construction projects. The Alps glowed pink in the evening light, majestic and permanent. Unlike family relationships built on financial manipulation, mountains didn't betray your trust for vacation money. My new Swiss phone contained no old contacts, no family photos, no reminders of the life I'd escaped. Clean slate, clean conscience, clean break from people who'd valued my wallet more than my well-being. 65 years old, $700,000 richer, and finally free to live for myself. Switzerland would teach me what home felt like when it wasn't being sold behind my back. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching.